This is a Renew Studios Network podcast. Faithful, uplifting, family-focused.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
All right, y'all. Hey, welcome to another episode of Relationships and Reason. We are, again, excited about this episode. We have a special guest, Mr. Tony Greene, that's coming in.
The one and only
Tony Greene.
If you know him for sure. You cannot forget him at all.
Absolutely. Hey, before, we even go into this. So, Tony, your title right now says Assistant Head Coach, Women's Basketball, right?
Associate Head Coach.
Associate Head Coach.
I don't even know the difference between associate and assistant head. Like, they sound the same to me.
They sound the same. Yeah.
Associate Head Coach at Baylor University, and we know that is a huge that's a huge title, especially around the country. I've been around some of these conferences before, and they say, hey, the colors matter. Like, look at what colors you're wearing, and if you got on Baylor gear, like, people want to get to know you,
people
right?
will stop and talk to you, right? Well, you definitely can attest to the difference in that.
No doubt.
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little later.
And so, in 23 years. Over 25 years coaching. It's probably
31.
more to like 30
31,
something now, right?
Yeah.
31 now.
That is crazy. So I'm sure you have a lot of insights there, but we're ready to dive into this episode. But before we do that, hey, make sure you're following us on social. Check out the website, Relationships and Reason, and then also if you are a sponsor and you're aligned with our message and you like what we're doing, feel free to reach out. But let's jump in.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about personal development, and I was telling Jermaine the last time we had this conversation, I thought about who could be the next person, and Tony, you were the first person that came to my mind when he thinks about personal development, because personal development is not just about like reading books and like strategies, right? But it's just about like your story, the lessons you've learned along the way, the good ones, the bad ones, things that work out well, things that you want to cut out, good things that you want to keep, good things that you want to get away from, all the things that that makes up our lives and our personal stories. And there's a scripture that says we're overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony, right? The things that has happened to us to help someone else grow, right? To help someone else get to know who Jesus is, and to help hopefully guide them from making mistakes along the way. So Tony, you and I met about 4 years ago at Baylor when I came back, and then you came here. And within that 4 years, I've just gotten to know you extremely well, and I'm so grateful for all the lessons that you have taught me within this time, and coaching and understanding the dynamics of all of it. And so I'm truly grateful that you're here with us. And so I just want to hear, and I want people to hear your journey from youth, and I know it's a long story, but some of the things that we'll just cut out a little bit, but just tell us about how you got from Dallas in Oak Cliff, right, to college,
Langston, yep.
And then to coaching, how you got into coaching, and then how you got from all of that to where you are currently. So, and then we'll jump in to hear a little bit more.
Well, listen, first of all, let me say thank you guys for giving me the privilege to come up and be a part of your show. It's truly an honor. I think, I believe every day you wake up, every person you could interact with, there's a reason behind it. I don't think anything happens just to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very honored to actually meet you and Jermaine. It's been a truly blessing for our family as well.
Yeah.
You guys led us to our first church home in Waco, and not only that, but just surrounding yourself with other married couples that you have a lot of in common with, it really strengthens your marriage as well.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and that's a wise tip I learned a long time ago is cleaning up my circle. But, you know, and so, well, I like you said, I was born and raised in Oak Cliff, Texas.
I've heard I heard the stories about Oak Cliff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stories about Oak Cliff. My dad is actually, he was born in Giddings, Texas. He's from a family of 15. My mom was actually born in Dallas, and she's from a pretty large family as well. I want to say a family of a family of 8. Growing up, I mean, I thought I was probably the richest kid on the earth.
Really?
And I did not know I was dirt poor
Wow.
at
Wow.
the time.
Yeah.
I mean, because we were loved.
Yeah.
Our parents supported us, made us feel like that we can do anything in the world. But when I got a little older and I started looking back on my life, I understood that there were some challenging times during my childhood.
Yeah.
From my 3rd grade to my 6th grade year, we lived in a building that didn't have any running water.
Stuff.
No, we didn't have any heat, no air. My job was to get up every morning and go and get water to cook with, to flush the commode with, to take, I call them bird baths.
Yeah.
We have It was in the building.
Yeah.
It wasn't a bathtub or a
Bathtub.
shower there, so
Yeah.
we had to stand in this baby doll tub and just take wash-offs. But I was happy every day I went to school. I left that place and went to school and came home. I look forward to coming home because it was so much love. Every Sunday we were in church,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, thanking God for what we had at
Yeah.
the time. And I come from a large family as well. It was 9 boys and 1 girl.
Yeah. I was
So
about
I
to
didn't
say.
really need a lot of friends.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so it was very entertaining, you know, growing
So to
up.
speak, can't imagine.
So I really didn't realize how poor I was probably until I got to high school.
Okay.
And then I started seeing my classmates able to do certain things and go certain places.
Yeah.
And, you know, on vacation and things like that. A vacation for me was leaving Oak Cliff, driving through Waco, stopping at health camp, getting a nice burger,
Yeah.
and going to my father's hometown, which is Giddings, Texas, which is an hour away from here.
Wow.
That was our summer
was your
vacation
vacation.
consistently.
Wow.
And when we went during the year before the summer, I was happy too.
Wow.
But I got an idea once I graduated that I wanted to go to college.
Yeah.
And I asked my parents, and my dad told me, he was like, you know, I wish I could put you through college. He said, but I can't afford it. And, you know, one rule that I always live by, what I can't do for one child, I can't do for the other. And I didn't understand it at the time, being 18 years old, but I understand it now.
No.
That I have 4
No,
daughters
now
and
that
a
you
son.
have children.
Yeah, now that I have children. My mom told me, hey, just go home and pray.
Yeah.
And so I did. And I played basketball growing up. And so I wanted to try to walk on to a community college that was in Dallas. And I wanted to attend school. It was called Cedar Valley College. So I went home, prayed about it. I actually went up and enrolled in school and didn't have the money.
Okay.
I didn't know that I needed to pay for it right then. So I went up and I enrolled, and they said, well, you have to have it paid. I enrolled like on a Friday. It's like, well, class start on this date, you have to have it paid by Monday. And so that's when I went and met with my parents. I'm like, hey, I'm
I'm enrolled, but
hey,
they accepted.
I'm in college. I just need this money. Can y'all help me out? And so I was very devastated after speaking with my parents, but I did pray about it, and I had a real serious conversation with God.
Yeah.
You know, and so I prayed about it. Monday came, and my mom had the money.
She had the money?
She had the money.
Wow.
And I did not know where the money came from at the time.
Yeah.
But my dad was a upholstery guy, upholstery man. So he did upholstery. He had his own little business, and he was trying to maintain it. That was the building that we were living in. It was
Okay.
actually the building that my father worked out
in.
of. So,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and so my mom, she was a maid for this gentleman named Carl Westcott. And so my mom, I end up finding out that my mom actually got the money from the gentleman that she worked for, Carl Westcott. And he said he was a very wealthy person. He had a foundation that he helped people to go, young people to go to school.
Yeah.
And so only thing I had to do was maintain a 2.0, and he would pay for my school.
Wow.
Was that a blessing?
Wow.
So
Wow.
actually, he did that for me and all of my other brothers. I was fortunate enough to be the first one in my family tree on either side, my dad or my mom's side, to graduate from college.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to
Praise
ask
God.
about that. Yeah, so what was the inspiration? Even you said you somehow got the idea of going to college. Like, where did that
Right.
come from?
Well, it stemmed from a couple of things. The first thing is I grew up playing Pop Warner football, Little League football. You know, you guys know that football, American
In
football.
Texas.
Let me say American
Yes,
football.
yes. We're
There we
Caribbean
go.
people. You gotta
Yeah.
distinguish.
American football is huge. So I grew up playing football, and you could only play from the age of like 8 to 13. 13, like right before you go to high school, like 13 or 14.
Right.
Well, when I was 15 years old, I couldn't play Little League football anymore. And I started playing high school basketball. I was a pretty good football player. I won state, all that kind of stuff. But I knew that my body size wouldn't translate to football. So that's why I started playing basketball.
Okay.
The reason why I started playing basketball is because I started donating my time in coaching the 8-year-olds when I was 15
Okay.
for the little Pop Warner football team. And I fell in love helping young people.
Oh my.
And it used
At
to
15.
That was your
at
mentorship
15.
moment, yeah.
At 15.
That was the moment that things started clicking inside of me. First of all, I knew at the age of 15 I wanted to coach. The way those young boys looked me in my eyes and trusted every single word that I said, and they believed in me, I knew I wanted to be a coach at the age of 15. So that triggered me to thinking, okay, how can I be a coach? What do I want to coach? And my number one goal was I wanted to be a boys' high school coach in Oak Cliff. That was my goal.
That was your goal. Yeah.
And so I knew I had to go to college to do that.
Yeah.
So that triggered me
I see.
to want to go to college.
I mean, let's just talk about that for a little bit, because I think I feel like for a lot of people, when you get a chance to like teach, right? You're learning something and you get a chance to at least teach and interact with people, share the knowledge that even if you're developing and learning something, you get a chance to express it to someone. You get to, something happens there. It's not just for the person, but you get to develop yourself.
Yeah.
You know? And I love that transpired into that moment for you where you were like, okay, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to pursue in my life.
Yes. And you know, Jermaine, it triggered a lot of things. Like when I found out that I had the power of influence over younger people, it even made me start developing myself, like you're saying, like because I knew I had to meet a certain standard
Yeah, they were watching you
within
now.
myself
Yeah.
to be ready to
Wow.
help them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, at the age of 15.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, like, point that out. At
Yeah,
15,
at
like,
15.
discovering
I was
discovering a purpose.
it was very clear to me
Oh, my.
at that time. And so I would sit back and think and research and ask questions about, what is it going to take for me to be a high school boys basketball coach? I knew I had to go to college. I knew I had to get teacher certified. I just knew all of those things. And
Yeah.
so from that point on, I started trying to go down that path.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't very clear.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I went and applied to go to college and didn't know that I needed money.
Right.
I didn't even, my parents could even help me fill out a financial aid package because it's never been done before
Right.
in my
Wow.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was truly blessed that I had a coach, a high school coach
Yeah, there it is again.
that guided me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was truly blessed that I had a collegiate coach to guide me through these areas
Yeah.
where I couldn't receive the education from my family, at the time.
Yeah.
It's not because they didn't want to give it to me.
Correct.
It's
Yeah.
just because they just didn't have it,
Yeah.
I was going to say, we talk about that all the time. It feels like there is, again, your family knows what they know. And sometimes it's just a different person or a different perspective coming in to kind of show you something that you hadn't seen before. My favorite quote, and we talk about this all the time, is if I've seen further, it's by standing on the shoulders of giants. And for you at that moment, it seems like that high school coach was able to see something that you couldn't see at that time and be able to point you that way.
Yeah. So I was very, very fortunate. So I ended up going to, I went to 2 years in JUCO, left there, and I went and tried out at East Central University in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And the coach was like, "Man, we really like you. We believe you can come help us, but it's so late." Like I went up there probably in May.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, after my sophomore season, I went up
Okay.
there like May. It's like we just don't have any scholarships for you right now. But if you make your mind up, you want to come. We feel like you would make the team, and if you qualify for Pell, maybe we can find some other money to patch it up. Well, that maybe was he wanted me. Maybe was like him saying that yes, he wanted me to be there.
Yeah.
He said maybe, and I took it as he's going to have the money.
Okay.
I just had that much faith.
Yeah,
Okay. Wow. Yeah.
And so I went home, worked the entire summer. I applied, got accepted, and I never talked to the coach the entire summer.
You didn't?
Nope.
Okay.
What
I
was that
showed
about?
up, but I showed up.
Okay.
My parents brought me up there, dumped me off, and I went to his office for the first time after my parents dumped me off. And I was like, "Hey, coach, how you doing?" And he was shocked. He was like,
What are you doing?
what are you doing? Like, and he was so amazed. And I started workouts, and I had a bill at the time. They applied my financial aid, and then at East Central, you had to pay your bill off before the semester was over with.
Okay.
So I did everything that he asked me to do, and they ended up paying the rest of my bill off.
Is that right?
And so that's how I earned a scholarship. Then I ended up getting a scholarship, but I ended up leaving there and going to Langston, graduated from Langston.
Okay.
To the HBCU.
To HBCU.
Yeah.
That's where I really found out a lot about not just myself, but the world too.
At
the
Langston?
at Langston. Like it was from Langston and East Central. Both of them was good for me, just in different ways.
Okay.
And being at Langston, this was all God. I graduated from Langston at the teacher career fair, probably in April. I knew I was graduating. I had passed my teacher certification test. I accepted a job to go be a middle school coach in Denton, Texas.
Okay.
So I'm going up.
Denton, Texas?
Denton?
Denton.
Denton.
Denton,
Okay.
yeah.
Denton,
Denton.
Texas.
I got
You know
you.
where North Texas
Okay,
is.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
north
Uh-huh.
of Dallas. So I'm in the administration building, picking up my transcript. Excuse me. As I'm leaving, the athletic director of Langston University stops me on the stairwell. Never forget it. His name is Shelby Launer. Actually, he taught our president here at Baylor University.
yeah?
Is that right?
I believe he taught her history class or something like that, because she's from Perkins, Oklahoma. He's from Perkins, Oklahoma.
Ah.
Yeah, he taught her in middle school, I want to say. But anyway, Shelby stops me and go, "Hey, Tony, what are you gonna do? What are you about to do?" I said, "Oh, I just accepted the job in Denton, to teach and coach at a middle school." So, "Oh, that's great." He said, "I just hired a new women's basketball coach, and here at Langston, we can't afford. We've never had a full-time assistant coach, but I always hire a male GA to travel on the road with them, because I just think it's good to have a male on the road with them." He said, "Would you be interested in being a GA?" I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I not really. He said, "Well, won't you just go talk to her? She's over there in the office. Won't you just go talk to her and just tell me what you think?" Now, at the time, I'm married, 2 kids, and we were on food stamps, living month to month, and we're as a family, we're excited because I'm gonna have this salary
Right.
in Denton, Texas.
Right,
At this
yeah.
school, it's a new start. We can live a little better.
That's crazy.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So I go talk to the head coach, and I guess it went well, because she called me like 2 days later and offered me the position. Now, when we talked, I never asked about like how much it pays or anything like that. I was just over, because really I wasn't thinking about accepting the
Right,
job.
right.
I was excited to come back to Texas.
Yes.
Because I was in Oklahoma. I was excited to get back
back
closer to my family. And I said, "Okay, well, how much does it pay?" Of course I was going to weigh my options. And she said, "Oh, it pays $1,500 a year." I said,
A year?
I said, "What?" She said, "Yeah, we'll give you a $750 tuition fee waiver to go towards your grad school each semester, and it totals out to be $1,500. And at the time, I can remember to the day, I had a $24,000 salary waiting on me.
In Denton. Yeah.
In Denton.
Yeah.
Now, one skill that God has blessed me with is I'm willing to work hard for something now and receive the benefits later. I don't have to have it right away.
Yeah.
I've always been like that. And so I really went home, I prayed about it, and I thought about it, talked to my wife at the time about it, and I'm like, how many people get a chance to start coaching at the age of 21, 22 on the collegiate level? And I'm like, if I do it and it doesn't work out, I'm teacher certified. I can always go back.
Right.
But then I'm like, but I have a family. We've been, I had my children when I was in college, so I'm like, my 2 oldest, I'm like, I need to provide a better life that I'm actually providing right now. So I was in a dilemma.
Yeah.
I prayed about it. The Spirit moved, and I took the $1,500. And you guys, that's the best decision I ever made in my life.
Yes, looking back now, right?
Looking back now.
Wow.
Now,
Yeah.
I lost a wife,
Man.
Oh, wow.
but
Came at a cost.
yeah, it came
at a cost.
It did, but I don't know what my life would be like right now.
Yeah.
If I would have took the teaching
The
job.
teaching job, yeah.
And that was amazing.
Man.
That just that, when you look back over your life and you think about decisions that you made, like I have some that I've made that I paid the cost for years for.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And I've had some that I made that I'm reaping the benefits from it now.
It's compounding, continues to compound.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's something that I would say about life. Like, don't take decisions lightly.
Yeah. Wow.
Don't take making decisions lightly, especially for your family.
Yeah.
It's very, very important.
Man, and that's hard because you're saying, because if you're saying, especially considering your family, right? The logical looking thing to do would be to accept the more lucrative role, but you were able to somehow see that future payoff that it could be. And it sounds like you went to God about that and prayed and was able to. How did you like get that confidence to like continue to pursue it even though everything else was basically saying no? Like, that's not logical, dude.
You know, Jermaine, as a young, I'm actually getting emotional, but as a young person, I knew the sound of his voice.
Praise God.
Wow. Praise God.
And I didn't know it was actually, at the time, like, I don't know how much I knew, how much I believe it was really him, like, but I know he guided me. It wasn't like, because I was really in a dilemma.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And I just sat down and I talked to him like I'm sitting here talking to you guys, and the decision was just in my spirit.
Yeah.
And I just knew it was going to work out.
Yeah, that's so good because I feel like, when the Holy Spirit's leading, when the Lord's leading us, sometimes things just doesn't make sense.
It does.
Like, it just
you can't. I can't tell you why that made sense to me.
Yeah.
I cannot tell you that.
Now that we're looking at your life, like, we're like, yes.
Now I understand now.
Now you understand now, but in that moment, yeah.
I understand now, but then, like, I did. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like, a lot of people, like, when I hear parables in the Bible and people don't be believing them, like, I understand why.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people did not believe I should have taken a GA position with 2 kids.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make logical sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it reminds me of, like, part of my story when I had the chance to come to the U.S. at 15.
Yeah, that's right.
And my uncle, who was my father figure, was like, hey, who's going to pay for this and this? And, like, all the questions and the details, I had no idea.
They were valid.
But I just knew, like, I knew within my spirit, like, God was going to take care of me. And so I was like, I have to go, even if it didn't make sense. I just knew I had to go.
Right.
And looking back now, it's like, oh yeah, it makes logical sense because we see in life from this perspective now, right? Yeah. But in the moment, sometimes things just doesn't make sense. But you just have the confirmation of the Holy Spirit that's like,
right.
I got you.
Yeah.
Go
really
go
cool.
from here. Yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah, both of y'all kind of said the same thing. It just like you knew it rested in your spirit.
Yeah.
Right? And that's how you knew.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, that might feel like convoluted, or it doesn't seem as certain as you would want it to be. But like there is, you know it when you know it.
Well, there's some certainty at times, but I think sometimes logic overweigh what the Holy Spirit is saying. Because the Holy Spirit's like, hey, don't do that. But then you try to, formulate stuff and you're like, okay, but look at all the shiny things over here, right? And so then we choose that path, even though we know the Holy Spirit's like, hey, choose this. It doesn't look great right now, but eventually it will. But he doesn't tell us that. That's the whole he doesn't tell us that. It's like, hey, go to the shiny things. And sometimes we do follow the shiny, glamorous things. And then we're thinking that that's going to last, right? But trusting him, you have to travel blind at times.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to touch on some of the, so it seems like, one, I don't know when it took you to kind of anchor into that trust in God that you have and you're sharing so like, well right now. But it seems like there's a few times over your professional career and with your family that you've kind of experienced these things as well. So I want to kind of fast forward a little bit into some of those moments where God just intervened or you felt like, man, this was not me. or I thought it was, I thought this probably there was a logical explanation to do something else here, but something else took place. And you've shared some of those stories, but even just thinking about from Langston to the next place, like how has your career sort of progressed into where you are right now, and where are some of those defining moments?
Another defining moment I would say would be when I was at University of, well, I'm not going to say the university because the story, I don't want to, but I was at a university. This is my first time working. My first 20 years was at a HBCU. And so, but anyway, I shared the university because the head coach and I are really good friends. We're really good friends. She came to my retirement, but I was at University of Toledo, and we knew in January or February the associate head coach there was going to be leaving. So what I did after she let the staff know that the associate head was going to be leaving, I went and I had a conversation with her. I had more experience than the other assistant there, and I wanted to put my being into being the associate head coach, And when I left the meeting, she never told me no, but I didn't feel like she was going to name me the associate head coach.
Okay.
So in my mind, I thought it wouldn't look good if she hired another coach as an associate head coach over me. It wouldn't look good on my resume. It wouldn't look good to, because it would look like she didn't have confidence that I could do the job. Now, keep in mind, I've been an associate head coach before I got there. And I probably was in the business, 17. I was in the business 20 years.
Yeah.
I was in the business 20 years, and I knew it would have been major for my career if she named me associate head coach. Well, so I started applying for other jobs. I was seeking head coaching jobs and assistant jobs other places. And I applied for a head coaching position at Jackson State. I had coached in the SWAG. I won championships in the SWAG. And I got an interview. I had like 2 interviews, and I felt like they went really, really, really well. Now, I didn't tell my wife that I had been interviewing for jobs. I didn't tell my wife that I met with the head coach and asked for the associate head position, and I didn't feel like she was going to reward me with it.
Okay.
So Nisi didn't have any clue I was doing all of this. So one day we're in church. Now I joke about my wife all the time. So Phil, you work with me, but my wife is not a real emotional person. Like when I say emotional, she's emotional, but she doesn't show them. So we're in church. We always sit on the second pew. We're in church, and it was time for people to be prayed over. My wife is standing beside me, and they open the doors up for prayer. And my 2 youngest daughters, they were the only 2 at home at the time, both of them got up and went up to prayer on their own. And they went together. They separated. And Anaya, the youngest, was over to my left, and she was down on her knees, and she was crying, very emotional. Denasia was to my right, and she was being prayed over as well. All of a sudden, my wife is standing beside me, and she goes down in a cross position, but she's bending at the waist. Her arms are stretched wide, and I'm standing beside her, right? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Everybody was in the spirit except me. Because I went into father mode. I'm like, hey, what's going on in my house that I don't know about?
Come on.
I'm just telling you. I have teenage daughters. I'm like, is somebody pregnant? What's going on? Like, my mind is racing. My mind is racing. Like, I'm thinking about, it's something going on I don't know about. I've been on the road a lot. You know how it is recruiting. I've been on the road a lot. I don't have a finger on what's going on at
Yeah,
home,
yeah.
so that's where I'm thinking. And my wife is bending over and her hands are just shaking. Her arms is just shaking. And I'm rubbing her on her back, but my mind is racing, right? After about 3 minutes of her bending down, my wife looks up at me and she goes, and it's tears in her eyes, which shocks me. I'm like, oh, she's crying.
Yeah.
I'm like, here it come. I'm about to find out what's
What's
going on
going
in my
on?
house.
Yeah.
You know what she tells me? She looks up, looks me dead in my eyes with tears in hers, and she go, oh, Tony, God has a job for you. Just be patient.
Wow.
I said, oh, it was a big relief.
First of all,
And then I'm like, God done told on me that God done snitched on me that I've been looking for these jobs. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I just rubbed her on the back. I had so that happened probably like in February. And, well, we had a family goal to never let our savings get up under a certain amount. And the spirit was moving. God was telling me to donate a certain amount to the church and do this and do that. And I was trying to help family members back at home, and our bank account got down really, really low. Yeah. I had promised our next to the oldest daughter, a car, when she graduates from high school. So I had to do all those things, and our bank account got down really, really low. And so around, I want to say it was after the Final Four, so it had to be in April, right? April hits, I come home from the Final Four, and I get a call. Now, I was at the Final Four. I didn't interview with anybody, nothing. Get a call from Coach Yo from Ole Miss. I'm actually sitting in front of the head coach with a recruit, sitting at her desk, in front of her desk with a recruit, and I had to step out of the office. And it was Coach Yo from Ole Miss, and she said, I didn't know Coach Yo before this happened, right? She was just like, hey, this is Coach Yo from Ole Miss. I want to know one thing. Would you be interested in a position here with me at Ole Miss? And before you answer, money's not an issue. I said, Coach, I have a recruit on campus right now, but I would love to talk to you about it later.
Right.
So when that happened, my former head coach called me, and she was like, hey, Coach Yo been asking about you. She called me asking about you. Like, I said, yeah, she just called me. She was like, Tony, did you see look at USA Today, they have her coaching salary pool, assistant coaching salary pool with USA Today. And I was like, okay. I looked, it was for $500,000, right? So I go home and I tell my wife what happened. No, I said, I asked my wife, I said, what happens every 3 years? She said, we move. She said, who called? I was like, Coach Yo from Ole Miss called me. She said, okay. At the time, my wife didn't really know about coaching salary pools for assistants, all that kind of stuff. So I broke everything down to her. I was like, hey, I said, coaching salary pool is $500,000. She has an associate head coach. I've never coached with her before. She probably bring me in as a second assistant. Second assistant, I say I think the top assistant probably make $200. Second assistant probably $150. They probably split the difference between the bottom two. So I explained all that to her, and she looked at me and she said, do you want the job? I was like, if it's right. I said, I really don't know the head coach. I said, if it's right. She said, well, I just need to know what to pray for.
Let's go. Man, that's that warrior stance
That-
right
yeah.
there. That's
She's like, I just need to know what to pray for.
Come on.
So we prayed about it. Probably a week later, I get up to, my wife is taking me to the airport to fly out to Ole Miss. And she woke me up, and I'm grabbing my stuff. She said, hey, I don't want to scare you. She said, but I dreamed last night you're gonna be the top assistant at Ole Miss and make $200,000. I said, I laughed. I'm gonna be honest with you. I laughed.
It's like Sarah in the Old
Yeah,
Testament.
you should have
I
got
laughed.
muted for a while.
I know.
I laughed. I said, okay.
Okay.
I said, I claim that in a joking way. I said,
Right.
I claim that in a
Okay.
joking way. She dropped me off. I go. It's not even an interview when I get to Ole Miss. I sit down in front of the head coach. She slides over a contract. She was like, I know what you made at Toledo. I think this is going to be a significant raise for you. She slid over a contract for $140,000. And I said, Coach, I appreciate it. I just need time to talk to my wife and pray about it. She said, okay. She said, well, won't you go out there on the court and do your on-court workout? I said, all right. I went out there. I had a 30-minute workout with some players, with some male players, and she left like the first 5 minutes. She just gets up and leave and never returned until like the last 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. I finished my workout. She said, Coach, after you shower up, come to the office. I want to talk to you before you go to the airport. I said, okay. Come to her office. She said, hey, you're a head coach ready right now. She said, I went to my AD. I got you $150,000. I looked at her. I said, Coach, I really appreciate it. I said, I just need time to pray about it and talk to my wife. She said, I understand. She said, you know what? I apologize for not bringing your wife down with you. This, that, and that. I said, she said, but it was such short time. Mm-hmm. I said, I understand, Coach. So she said, is there anything I can do? I was like, yeah, you can call my wife. So I go to the airport. She calls my wife. I land in Detroit. A text message come through. I had a great conversation with your wife. I want to offer you $160,000. I was like, okay. So my wife looking out for me, right? So I get home. I tell my wife, I say, hey, this is what she offered me. Uh-huh. And we agreed to pray about it, right? Prayed that night. Woke up the next morning. And we talked some more about it. And then the Spirit led us to agree and to tell the kids and, of course, tell my good friend Trisha Cullip at Toledo. But I joked with my wife. I was like, hey, you told me I was going to be making $200,000.
Right.
So I ended up accepting the job, signed the contract for $160,000. Mm-hmm. Then, probably a week later, I get a call from Coach Joe, probably around 11. She said, hey, what are you doing? I said, sleep. I said, I'm sleeping. She said, oh. She said, well, you know, there are going to be a lot of coaches come after you after we turn this thing around. She said, I'm going to show you I appreciate you right now. Right. She said, I'm offering you $190,000. I'm sending the contract over tomorrow. I said, what? She said, you heard me. I said, hold on. I shook my wife, woke her up, and she told my wife. I said, say it again, Coach. She told her, and she said, only mistake Coach Joe made, she said, she told Niecy, I don't want you to have to work if you don't want to. I'm going to pay your husband this amount. I was like, man, I should have left her asleep. Right? She didn't need to hear that.
Right.
But anyway, we thank God for the raise and stuff like that. Uh-huh. And I joked with my wife again. I said, you told me it was going to be $200. So
that is amazing.
She sent over the contract, and I looked at the contract. I had a Nike stipend for it was $500 a month. Mm-hmm. No, not a Nike stipend, a car stipend.
A car stipend.
I had a car stipend for $500 a month, so that's another $6,000 on that 90. Mm. That was $196. Yeah. We kept reading the contract, and it said housing stipend $4,000.
Come on.
To the T. I had to call Coach Yo. I was like, what is this $4,000? She said, oh, we give that to you for if you want to put it out on a down payment for a house, or we'll help you with that, all that kind of stuff.
Come on.
So that, Jermaine,
Yeah.
when God spoke through my wife,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't have believed that story if I don't care who would have told me.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But when God spoke through my wife
Mm-hmm.
and it came
Yeah.
into existence, I was like, oh, that was so powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, like, you guys came to my 15-year deal.
Yeah.
I honor my wife
Yeah. Yeah.
because I know how much
Praise. Come on.
she means to our family and our success
Come
and the
on.
blessings that we have.
Yeah.
I honor her.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Now-
Nisi.
I know.
Now-
She holding it down.
Yeah.
Now, Sophia tell you I joke about her all the time. I talk crazy about my wife all the time, but
my
I
God.
truly honor her because I know how powerful she is to our family.
Yeah.
And so, Jermaine, you asked me about another turning point. When we were in Toledo, when you guys came to our 15 year celebration, that's the pastor.
Yes.
That from that church,
Right.
he came to our 15-year
Right.
anniversary. Every year, someone from that church come visit us,
Wow.
and that was the first church I ever paid tithes in.
Wow.
That was the first church that everyone in our family, in our home, participated
Yeah.
in church.
Wow.
Everybody participated, like everybody had a role in
You're
helping.
very
Wow.
involved.
The
Yeah.
first time. That was
Yeah.
the first time. And so I understood how important faith was
Yeah.
for our family
Yeah.
to be able to do God's work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
love that.
I understood the power of doing God's work.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because I was all in, we were all in at that church.
You're at
home.
church. Yeah.
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 And I believed in the pastor. I believed in the vision. I believed in God's vision
Yeah.
that he had for that church,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was one of those moments.
Yeah. What a journey that has been. I just love how, you keep stressing about your wife, and I think that, we often say in this show that we can't do life alone. We need other
Right.
people in our lives to help us, whether it's from one destination to the next, but to have your life partner
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
so discerning, to hear
Man.
from the Holy Spirit, and for you actually to listen.
Yes.
Because
Right.
so there's a two-way streak there, right? To be able
Yes.
to hear the direction and, like pay attention to it
Yeah.
rather than thinking like, nah, I got this. Like I'm going to try to do my own thing again. So I love that Nisi was so, in tune with the Lord to be able to speak what she was actually
Right.
hearing.
Yeah.
It's something that she didn't know that you were doing in the,
Right.
on the back end.
That's really powerful.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's really powerful. And it's cool to see right now, too, for you, not only honoring Nisi, but continue to honor God in your work and the things that you're doing. And even in this moment right now, to kind of just reflect and give glory to God, like for what has happened.
Yeah.
I think those are the things that, God shows us, because a lot of times we can have these moments take place within our lives and we attribute it to something else. Like, oh, that was just supposed to happen.
Yeah.
Or,
Coincidence,
it's
or-
a coincidence. Or, man, I didn't realize, but yeah, that was all working out in the background. But no, like we prayed for it and God answered it. And then, it happened, right? So even when it formulates in a way where it actually makes sense from the retrospect, it's still what you asked God to do, and that's what he did.
Yeah.
Right.
So I love that you continue to honor God in your ways and in your coaching career right now. I'm sure, like some people out there, you're a coach in college and Baylor and all of that stuff. People want to know some of the stuff. What does the team look like? Yeah. What does the team look like this year? You want to say something about that?
Well, I really like this team.
Yeah.
They're working hard. We're going to look different than we did a little last year. I like this team because we're a little taller on the perimeter. We're improving. Our veterans returning are really improving. Kyla, Bella, Bugs. And I really like this team because Nikki has done a great job of getting our culture in place. Like we battled like the first couple of years with our culture, and that's the norm.
Yeah.
That's the norm.
Yeah.
Because normally young people don't like change.
Right.
So whenever there's change,
Yeah.
there's some rebellion. There's some when you're doing things different, like there's some doubt. So I think we have less doubt
Yeah.
and
yeah.
less rebellion now, and we can get more work done.
Yeah.
That's good.
And we're always talented. Like we're
Yeah.
talented.
Yeah, you got the right colors.
Oh yeah, got the right colors. You know, Jermaine. There once was a time, I had on different colors in Langston University on my chest. I would go to the Final Four, and people just walk right by me.
Langston, what is that?
They didn't even know where Langston was. But listen, now I have Baylor on my chest,
Yeah,
and I'm in
yeah.
that Greene and gold.
Yeah.
They
Everybody
be
knows
like,
that.
"Hey, coach, would you mentor me?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I want to pick your mind about some stuff."
Crazy, ain't it?
And I'm like, "Hey, don't get me wrong.
One year to the next.
I
right?
learn every year, but I haven't changed. I get a little better every year, but I was winning championships back then. And
right.
nobody wanted to talk to me. But no, changing the colors and being at a certain institution, though, people do look at you different. Yeah. But I think the key to that is as long as you don't look at yourself different. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter about them looking at you different. Just don't
yeah.
look at yourself different.
Yeah.
I try to stay. I try to keep my circle the same and continue to do what I normally do.
Yeah.
But no, the team. I'm excited about this year, Jermaine. I think you guys are going to see. We're going to play a little different too. Like Nikki
nice.
been doing some stuff. I'm like, okay. Yeah, so it's going to be fun.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I'm excited to come and watch and support. Tony, your story is so amazing, and that's the reason why I definitely wanted you to be the feature when it comes to like personal development, because we started from living in an abandoned building to now the associate head coach and defensive coordinator at Baylor University of women's basketball. And so, we look at that, like there's a number of years that went between that space, right? And there's like the development that it took to get from there to where you are now. And I think that it just shows, the work of God and the trust and the faith that you have had to be able to sustain and to continue to grow, continue to develop over the years, even when people were passing you by,
right.
to staying faithful to their journey, and to know that, hey, God has a plan for my life, and I wanted to make sure. So with that, is there any final words that you would like to say to our listeners when it comes to like their personal growth, their personal development? What can they do to make sure that they stay on the path and not give up?
I would say first of all, there was a time in my career where I was at a standstill. And the reason why is because I kept looking up at my ceiling and I wanted to go higher, right? But I was at a standstill. My first advice would be, don't worry about your ceiling.
Wow, that's good.
Raise the level of your floor.
Come on.
So your floor is your faith, your foundation. That's your foundation, your faith, your family. And when you raise that level, you naturally go higher when you raise your floor. So get stronger in your faith. Be a better husband, be a better father, a better mother, a better.
That's so good.
Yeah, like raise your foundation. And if you raise your foundation,
I love that.
your ceiling is going to get higher as well.
Yeah.
Also be a willing learner. Everywhere I go, I to sharpen my craft, I ask questions to people who are really good at what I'm trying to be better at. That's simple. And every opportunity that I get, I try to take advantage of it. Like I really love working for Nikki. Her mind worked different than any other head coach I ever worked for. So it's inspiring. It's inspiring to me, and it's different. So I want to take out the things that I want to take with me once I leave Baylor. But you have to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
I tell you what I used to do when I was at Langston. So one time I was we were going to play Georgetown, Kentucky, a small NAIA school in Kentucky, right? And Georgetown was located near Kentucky, University of Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
So my little self from Langston University, I called Tubby Smith. I'm like, hey.
D. Tubby Smith.
Yeah, the Tubby Smith.
Yeah,
I called, and his secretary answered the phone. I was like, hey, I'm going to be up there, this and that, and I wanted to know if I can come by and watch practice. You know, this is when he won a national championship at Kentucky.
Wow.
So I took advantage of opportunity Langston provided me to go to the state of Kentucky.
Yeah.
I wanted to learn. I wanted to see it in person, so I called to see if we could come.
Yeah.
And once he said yes, then my head coach was like, are you serious? He said you can come. I was like, yeah. She was like, call him back and see can we bring our team. I said, okay. So we ended up bringing the entire team.
Wow.
He came out. He talked to us.
Wow.
He watched us. We watched him, perform. But be a willing learner.
Yeah.
There are tons of people around you that you can learn from.
Yeah.
Both ways.
Yeah.
Both ways.
What to do and what not to do. So pay attention and be a willing learner.
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
That's so good, y'all. Hey, we'll stop there, man. There's so many takeaways for me in this. My notebook is full right now, and a lot to reflect on. And I hope y'all receive that same amount of insight that we received today. Again, thank you, Tony, for being a feature on this podcast today. And hey, remember, subscribe, Relationships in Reason. Follow us, and wherever you are listening to your podcast, you can find us there. So we're looking forward to the next conversation. Thanks again.
Sick 'em Bears.
What?
This has been a Rogue Media Network production.